Hello, welcome to the Meejah channel and Happy New Year! You know, one of the challenges of being a one-person film operator is making your film look like it hasn't been made by a one-person film operator. If every shot you use is from a locked-off tripod, then at some point that's going to become pretty obvious to the audience. So the trick is to make it look that at least some of the shots had a camera operator in place. For example, the opening shots of my recent horror short, ETO, appears to show a camera tracking a car across a lonely moorland. But it wasn't being tracked, it was in fact shots from locked-off tripods, perfectly static shots. So how was that done? It was done like this. Here's the clip from the finished film. As you can see, it gives the impression that there's someone there operating the camera. But this is an illusion, as the camera was completely unmanned. Here's how it was done. First, I framed the scene with the camera on a tripod. Then I jumped in the car and drove it over the horizon there, where I turned it round in a lay-by. Then, having checked the road was clear of other traffic, I drove back and past the camera to get the shot I wanted. Then I reversed back past the camera, parked up, jumped out, and with the camera still running, I reframed the shots for the second part of the drive past. I then had to wait for some traffic to go by, before driving past the camera and again over the horizon, where I turned round to come back and turn the camera off. So now I had my clip. And having imported the clip into my editor and roughly chopping out the business bits, I was left with these two clips. This one, way too long at the moment, of the car approaching in the distance, and this one, also way too long, of the car disappearing into the distance. So the first job then is to trim them to size. So I'll just run the first clip up to the in point. About there, I think, so just trim it to there. Now I run it until the car is just out of frame. For accuracy, I'm going to pause it here and shuttle it frame by frame until it's just out of shot. And then trim it to that point, giving us this finished clip. Now to do the same to the other clip. I need the in point to be just before the car enters the frame. So I'll run the clip until the car appears, pause there, and again shuttle it backwards frame by frame until it's just out of shot. And then trim it up to there. And for the out point, I think there will be enough, so just trim it to that point. So there we have our two trimmed clips. If we run them together, it does convey the idea of a car driving past, but it's clearly been done on a static tripod and feels a bit lifeless. So now it's time for a bit of faking to make it look like someone was behind the camera. And we're going to do it using keyframes in the pan and crop tool. So let's open the first clip here. And I'll just move it out of the way a bit so you can see the monitor screen. Okay, select the first keyframe. Oh, and before you start, make sure the sync cursor here is selected. Okay, so back to the keyframe. I'm adjusting the frame to make the shot tighter and thus appear closer. And I think that looks about right. And then I run the clip onto the end and then select the full 16:9 widescreen, which will automatically create me a new keyframe. I'm also going to right-click on each of the keyframes and select Smooth Style, which is more how a manual operation would look. So let's play the clip and see how it looks. Well, the smooth takeoff works, but it doesn't work at the end. The movement also stops before the vehicle has left the frame. If we take a look at the keyframe, we can see that the problem is that the keyframe isn't actually at the end of the clip. This is easily remedied by simply dragging the keyframe into place. I'll also change the style of this keyframe back to linear to prevent the movement fizzling out before the clip does. So just check that one. Excellent. Now to do the same with the second clip. This time we want the first keyframe to be in full screen and linear style to match the end of the previous clip. And now I'm going to run the clip on until the car reaches the bend there. Now I'm going to pull the frame in to create a tighter shot, which automatically creates a new keyframe at that point. And I'll choose smooth style here to create a nice soft landing to the fake zoom that we've just created. A quick test run. And it all looks fine. So the job is essentially now done. Just add some Foley, sound effects, and a touch of color grading, and this is what you get.
Now on my second UK tour, the Best of Strain and Dream will be performing at Llandudno's Pavilion Theatre this weekend. And in the meantime, here's a track from them.
So there you go, fake your own camera crew. Every little helps. Well, that's all for this episode. Thanks for watching, and if you've enjoyed it, don't forget to comment, like and share. And I'll see you here next time on the Meejah channel.